So till now we have seen our actions that we have defined, like flux cart actions. Then we have seen the constants and dispatcher, as well as the utils that we created. Now is the time to head over and create our stores. Now each store manages the application state for a domain within an application. In this example that we are working on, we have two domains. The first one being the courses store or the product store that we are having, and then the next one is the cart. So the cart store we have created is actually going to show all the items that we add to the cart. So we'll be first of all creating our product store. Product store is pretty simple. It has got two methods, that is load product data and set selected. Now we use the load product data to load our course data into our courses variable or object, and then we have our set selected method, which is used to set which course is currently selected. So that is what we are doing over here. Now we expose this data using the public methods, that is we have get product and get selected, and at the end, if you see, we are registering a callback to our app dispatcher, which uses a switch statement to determine if the supplied payload matches an action we want to respond to. In the event that it does, we call our private methods within the supplied action data and fire a change event, forcing our view to retrieve the new state and update its display. So that is what we are doing inside the dispatcher. Next, we have our cart store. Similar to the way we have defined our product store, we have our cart store as well. Now here we make use of courses variable to store the courses that are currently in our cart. And then we have this cart visibility, which basically is a Boolean variable to show or hide. We have also added some public methods that allow our controller view to retrieve application state, and that is we have get cart items, get cart count, and get cart total. So get cart total will show the total amount that we have in the cart, and then get cart count will show how many items we have in the cart, and get cart items will actually show the courses that we have added to the cart. Now coming on to our components or controller view, basically this one is the top level component, and this listens for changes on our stores and then updates our application's state by calling our stores public methods. Now this state is then passed down to child components via properties, that is props. So basically the controller view is responsible for setting our application's state by calling stores public methods, then composing child components and passing state properties via props, and after that we have listening for stores change events. So these are the three things in particular that our control view will be doing. So the first one that we'll be taking a look at now is the Flux Cart app. Now Flux Cart app has got these public methods like get cart state. This one is a public method, and we are making use of this method to call public methods on stores. So here you can see that we have our product store, which is then getting all the products using the get product method, and then we are also getting the selected one via the product store.getSelected. We have our cart items, cart count, and cart total coming from the cart store, get cart items, get cart count, get cart total. Then we have cart visibility coming from get cart visible method of cart store. So that way we have initialized our variable from get cart state. Now get cart state, as you can see, is being called whenever this particular component is initialized. So on get initial state we are calling this get cart state, and this one is also getting called whenever we are making any changes. So whenever a stores change event is received, we are making sure that we get the updated data, and that's why we are calling it on the on change event as well. Now in order to receive these change events, we add listeners on our stores during the mounting process so that we know when they change. We remove these events when or if our component is unmounted. In our render method, you can see over here, we compose our component using the flux cart, that is flux cart and flux product. So these are the two things that we are showing on our page. The first one is the cart, which will show all the items that we have added to the cart, and the flux product will show all the courses that we have from our local data that we have defined under course data.js. Now here you can see that we are passing the cart items, cart count, cart total, and cart visible as properties to these components. Here for FluxCart we have product, cart items, selected. So these are the things we are passing to our Flux product component. Then we will take a look at the product view that we are having. So product is actually having a couple of things. In the render function, if you see, we have the properties going on. We are looping through each of the courses that we have, and each course has got some attributes like image, title, price, and then we have a button which says add to cart. Now this add to cart function is actually passing a couple of things. It's passing the current control that we have stored inside the self variable, and then the product. So the product that we are looping through is also passed over here. Now when you click on this method add to cart, you'll notice we have a function defined over here. And this function then takes the course ID, which is a unique value for each of our courses, and then we are updating the title and price. This title and price will then be shown in the cart. And how we are doing that? We are simply making use of the FluxCart actions.add to cart and update cart visible. So here, course ID and update, these are the two things that we are passing to add to cart method in our FluxCart actions. So here we have the FluxCart actions, if you take a look, and inside that FluxCart actions we have add to cart method that we've defined over here. Now this takes course ID and update method. Now this one will then go back to the store that we have created. Now this one is cart store. So here you'll go, and if you take a look at this add function, this is the function which is getting called when we are saying FluxCart actions dot cart add. So here this function is internally calling the cart stores add method, and then we are simply updating the quantity, since each of our courses are simply 1 in number. So each time you add, it's added as a 1 quantity, and then we are updating the course over here, so that gets added to the cart. So that was the Flux product component that we have created. After that, you can take a look at the FluxCart React.js, which is basically the cart component we have created. So the cart component, inside the render method, you can see all the cart items that we have are looped through, and then they are displayed over here. The title of the product that is added to the cart is shown here. Then the price of that particular course is shown here, and we have a remove from cart method. On clicking off a cross button or a delete button, we are simply removing that item from the cart, and then we are updating the total value as well. So the total amount will come over here. So this way we have defined our class remove from cart. You can take a look over here, and the same one is working here as well. FluxCart actions dot remove from cart, we are passing the course ID, which is a unique variable we have for identifying each of our courses and the mockup data that we have. So remove from cart will again go to cart store, and here you can see remove items. And if you first go to the FluxCart actions, you'll see this one coming from here, remove from cart, and then internally it will call cart store remove item, and here we are removing that item from the courses list, and that way we are updating the cart. So now if I run this one, you might notice that this HTML page is having just one file, that is jsbundle.js, and we have created this file by making use of the Node Package Manager. And in our previous lectures, you must have noticed that we have made use of a command npm space start, which is basically creating this file, and it monitors all the save actions that you take while developing the project. So in the end, you'll be getting only one file to include, just like this, jsbundle.js, and the others that you're seeing over here are simply for design purposes. So we have Bootstrap CSS and Bootstrap script. So this one is just for designing the content that you will be seeing over here. So now if I run this one in browser, you'll see a simple cart in action. There you go. Here all the courses are coming from our mock data, and if I click on any of the courses, that gets added to the cart over here. So I can add multiple, and you can see that the total is also increasing. If I delete some, the total gets updated and the cart gets refreshed as well. So that way you can create a dynamic UI making use of React and Flux. So that was all for React.js and Flux.